if you are a veteran and you are going to countless VA medical appointments, it seems like as soon as you finish one appointment, you've got another one. All that driving, all that gas money can add up. It can be expensive just getting yourself to and from all of these different VA appointments. Thankfully, there is a VA program that can help reimburse you for the costs of getting to and from your VA approved medical care. In today's video, we're talking about the Health Care Travel Reimbursement Program through the VA. I'm going to be telling you who qualifies for this program, and if you do qualify, I'm going to show you step by step how to fill out this form online so you can get the support that you need. Hey everyone, and welcome back. I am the Part-Time Economist, and in today's video, we are talking about the VA Healthcare Travel Reimbursement Program. So, who's eligible, and if you are eligible, how do you apply for it? So, big question right up front. Are you eligible? There's a couple things that have to be true. The first that has to be true, no way around it. Either you are going to the VA for your medical care, or you are going to non-VA care, but that was approved through the VA. So let's make it simple. Anytime you walk into a building that has the VA logo on it, that counts. It doesn't matter if it's the VA hospital. It doesn't matter if it's your local VA clinic. If it has the blue VA letters, that qualifies. Now, if you're going to some kind of community care, it only counts if the VA told you to go there, if it's VA approved care. So if the VA says, go to this dermatologist, that counts, right? Okay, we understand that. So that is the big number one. Now, as long as that is true, that has to be true for everyone. As long as that is true, there's several additional options, we'll call them, because out of these options, only one of them has to be true and you're good to go. So if you're going to VA approved care and you are 30% or more disabled, you're covered. You're good. It doesn't matter if you have a 30% rating for headaches and you're going for an issue with your foot. It's covered because you're above 30%. Option number 2, if you are less than 30%, but you are going for a service-connected disability. So you have a 10% rating for headaches, you're going for headaches, you're covered. You have a 10% rating for headaches, but you're going for shoulder pain, that is not covered. Option number 3, if you are getting a VA pension, you're either getting one or you're not, right? Again, you may qualify under that example. Option number 4, you have an income that's below the maximum annual VA pension rate. So you're going to have to do a little bit more digging to find out what that rate is. It's going to change with time, inflation, everything like that. Keep in mind that is an additional option. If you can't afford to pay for travel, again, that's another option. It will require a little bit more digging on your part. And then here's another big one. You are traveling for one of these reasons. A VA claim exam, right? So that's where you're going in to see what your disability rating is. If you're going for that, that is covered. Or to get a service dog, or for VA approved transplant care. So the big one that the vast majority of people are going to fall into, either you're 30% or more disabled, you're going for a service-connected condition, or you're getting a VA pension. So if any of those is true and you're going for that VA-approved care, you are eligible. Okay, perfect. So you've decided that you are eligible for this VA care. You want to submit your reimbursement. You want to help offset some of those travel costs. I will show you how to do that, but I want to give you a couple additional pieces of information first. Number 1, I'm going to show you how to do this form online. You can do the form in person. You can also do the form by mail. So which either of those works for you, you're free to use whichever one. Some people just like doing it online, so that's what I'm going to show you in today's video. Also, the VA isn't strictly just limited to paying for your mileage. So if for whatever reason you're traveling to a VA that's really far away and you have to take a toll road or stay in a hotel, keep all of those receipts. Because as we go through, you're going to see that there's the option to add in additional things for your travel reimbursement. If you have caregivers, again, that's another thing to consider. I'm going to show you the basics here of how to go through and fill everything out. If you have a unique situation, if there's something that I didn't cover, leave it in the comments, because we do have a lot of veterans that watch these videos. They might have been in your unique situation and they might be able to give you a little bit of information about what worked for them. So with that being said, we're going to jump over now and I'm going to show you how to actually submit your claim. If you are eligible, how do you go about getting this benefit? Well, there's a couple different ways. But before we even talk about that, there's a couple things that you need to do as your homework. Number one, you need to keep in mind you have got to be on time with this. You only have 30 days to file your claim. So keep that in mind. 30 days. As soon as you get home from your appointment, if you're up to it, I would suggest doing it as soon as you get home from the appointment. Number two, you need to keep receipts of all of these things if you're trying to justify additional expenses. With that being said, you can do this at your VA care facility. It is entirely possible to do it in person, but for those of you that do want to do it online, I'm going to show you that as well. So how do you find this on the VA website? Well, you can try and go through all the VA click-through menus. I would just suggest going to Google, going to your favorite web browser and type VA Travel Reimbursement Program. It's going to be one of the first thing that pops up. And once you get there, it's going to have something that looks like this. It's going to say file a claim for general health care reimbursement online. We're going to go ahead and click that, and then I'll walk you through everything step by step. So obviously it is going to ask us to sign in. Let's go ahead and sign in. You can use any of these. I'm using the My Health eVet login. It's going to take you then to your VA login. Again, you just put in your username and your password here. After that, it's going to ask to send a 6-digit code to your phone, or it'll give you a call and it'll read that out for you. We're going to go ahead and select the text message option. From here, it's going to give you the option again, either get that text or call. All right, now once you log in, it's going to reload what looks like the same page. You're going to scroll down to where it says file a claim for general health care travel. It's going to say go to this BTSSS. You're going to go ahead and click there. Alrighty, now once that page finishes loading, again, keep in mind this is a VA system we're working with. It can take a long time between these pages loading. I've edited it out in the video, but by the time I click on something, it can take a minute or two for each page to load. So if it's going slow, that's just how the system is. Don't think it's not working. It might require a little bit of patience on your part. Go ahead and click proceed to my dashboard. Alright, so whenever you submit this, you're going to see all your claims. Now, I submitted a claim for an appointment that I had on Friday. That was the 29th. As you can see here, that's currently in review, but that's because I've already submitted it. What we want to do, we want to apply for a new claim. So I just went to an appointment today. That's why I'm making the video. I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you will also see something that says appointments. These are for your appointments, some of which you may or may not have already submitted a claim for. So if you look here under my appointments, you can see that there's one where I checked out, I created a claim. There's also one where I haven't done anything yet. I want to go ahead and I want to click on create. Now, once you get here, it's going to pre-fill all of your information. If you have a different address that you're using for some reason, you can put that in there. I'm just going to go with what's already on my profile. We're going to go ahead and continue through this page. Alright, so once you get to the next page, it's asking for your claim details. Now, keep in mind, you might have different things you're requesting reimbursement for. This is where you add all of them. So it's going to have the claim information, the facility responsible for payment. More than likely, that will be pre-filled for you. What you need to do is come down here to where it says select an expense type. Now, the most common, just simple, basic gas money is your mileage expense. So that's what we're going to do today. if you had to get on a toll road, if for whatever reason you had to travel overnight to get to the VA and you needed lodging expenses, you can put all of that stuff in there. That's why I say you need to keep your receipts. Now, for just the standard mileage, it's pretty simple. You're going to click on mileage expense. You're going to add the selected expense. And then all this is doing here, again, it's going to pre-fill everything. It's going to input your starting address and it's going to input the destination you went to. It's automatically going to give an estimate of what the mileage was. You select whether it's a round trip or the other option is one way. It was a round trip because you went there, you went back. Do keep in mind, in some circumstances, you may have to select one way. You can click here and it'll tell you what to select based on your scenario. But if it's a scheduled appointment where you're going there, you're coming back like it was for me, then more than likely it's going to be a round trip. Let's go ahead and continue. And then this is why I told you that the standard mileage is the easiest to submit for, because all it's doing is just automatically, it's using some kind of mapping software, it's calculating the distance, and it's going to reimburse you for that. So if for whatever reason you want to challenge that mileage, if there was a wreck and you had to go all the way around to get there or something, you could, but for the most part, it's pretty accurate. I'm going to go ahead and save this claim. Then you're going to scroll down and it's going to ask you to certify. So again, this is something to pay attention to. Don't do this fraudulently. Don't do it if you're not qualified for it, obviously. But basically what it's going to want you to do, it's going to say, yes, you incurred a cost for this. Here's the big one. In order for you to submit this, you can't have also used something provided by the government. So you can't use something where the government provided you a shuttle to get there. The government already paid for your taxi fare, something. You can't double dip, basically. So read all of these. Make sure that you're following all the rules. Go ahead and agree. Then you can go ahead and submit. And then from there, you'll be able to see all your approved claims. Okay, perfect. Now that you have submitted your application, it can take a couple days for the VA to go through to decide if it's going to be approved. You might have to wait a little bit. But at the end of the day, this is a great program because especially if you're traveling a lot, if you have appointment after appointment, or if it's a long distance appointment, it adds up. And getting the VA to cover some of that expense can definitely help out. So before I close the video, I want to say I'm making this video to help other veterans. I am not a spokesperson for the VA. I'm not an expert at the VA. If I missed something, if there's something important that you think other veterans need to know, if you have a unique situation or example that you need help with, leave it below in the comments. Like I said, a lot of veterans come here. We're all trying to help each other out. So with that being said, I do appreciate you watching the video. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you next time.